What happens when we ignore our deepest desires? For the longest time, I used to see desires as selfish. I used to think of desires as something that I want or something that I'm doing for me to like satisfy me or to satisfy my ego or to like get a confidence boost. I used to see desires and goals from that perspective for a very, very long time. And then after getting a lot of stuff that I wanted and also like not getting stuff that I wanted because I gave up on it. I gave up on my desires like I've done that in the past. I am now at a point where I realize that your desire is like the opposite of selfish. Like pursuing something that you have on your heart that you truly deeply care about is like the most unselfish thing that you can do. Because I think desires are God's way or our future selves way to bring us into our dream life, to bring us to like help us become who we were always meant to be. And they use our desires, they place desires in our hearts to get us to move, like to get us to act and to change our lives. And the desires that you have at any given time are not random, and they serve a larger purpose. And I think that there are always severe consequences for not following these desires or for like giving up on desires that are like truly your desires. You're not acting on these things because somebody told you to or because like you think it'll make you look good or your mom told you that you should. I don't mean those, right? I mean like a desire that is yours, that you're pursuing because it's something that you want and that you care about deeply. And I think that ignoring those hunches has significant side effects on your life in the long term. And these desires, I think, like from a higher perspective, from a divine perspective, I think these desires are like stepping stones, are seen as like a stepping stones to you becoming your best self and to you like reaching your highest potential possible. They're not these desires that we have are not they're not given to us to like satisfy our selfish desire, our selfish need for approval or for validation. Like the reasons that we have certain desires at certain times in our lives are like those are placed on our hearts so that we can grow and so that we can become better people, so that we can serve people, so that we can like get to our destination, get our desires, and then turn around and help 25,000 other people to do the same thing. But you won't be able to do that if you don't pursue your desires. If you look at your desire and you think, that this is too much, this is too hard, this is too expensive, this is taking too long, I can't do this, I'm gonna give up and I'm gonna focus on something else and I'm gonna pick something easier, then the mission, like the bigger picture, cannot happen. And those people that you were meant to help after you reached your destination are never going to get helped. And the lives that you were meant to change for the better are never going to get changed for the better. And the person that like what you were supposed to meet after you've got your desire, you're never going to meet that person now. And so on and so forth. I think not pursuing a desire can have like severe consequences, and we feel that internally without like really being able to explain why, but we feel it within ourselves, like this sense of like sadness or depression or like mourning when we give up on something that we care about. It affects us deeply, and I think maybe that's just like our soul mourning the loss of this goal and this desire and this like bigger picture that could have come through if you only stuck to your desire, but because you gave up, now you're like stuck at your current level for who knows how long. And so if you do have something on your heart that you want deeply, and you know that this is a true desire, you know that this is something that you want because of you, not because of what other people think, and you know that even if it took 10 years, it would still be 10 years well spent. If you feel that way about something in your life, if you have something that is that important to you, I would say persist, 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 no matter what. No matter what happens, no matter how many obstacles, no matter how long it takes, just persist to the end. And don't worry about how. Don't worry about how long it's going to take. Don't worry about like forcing it to happen. Don't worry about any of that. And just persist, 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 because if you give up, you're like significantly changing the timeline. And it's going to have a ripple effect wider than we could possibly comprehend. And it's not just going to hurt you, it's going to hurt like many people that you would have impacted if you stuck to your goal or if you stuck to your desire, right? Like imagine that like you get to the mountaintop, you get your desire, and then that changes your life, that changes your family's life, that changes your future children's lives, that changes your future spouse's lives, that changes like the friends that you, like the ripples of people that see you succeeding and doing it from a place of integrity and from a place of love and helping those people, like turning around and helping other people get what you wanted. Imagine that when you're trying to give up, when you're even considering on giving up on your desires and on your goals. And that'll make you snap out of it real quick, because you'll realize that yes, things might be uncomfortable right now. Yes, your identity is changing right now, and that feels weird. And yes, the way you think and the way that you behave are changing every day. And yes, you have to meditate every day. Yes, you have to affirm every day. Yes, you have to journal every day. And yes, your life is changing at a rapid pace. And still, through all of that, persist until the very freaking end, because there really is no alternative. If you give up, the consequences are just too crazy to even consider. And it's gonna hurt a lot of people, not just you. So our desires are not selfish. There is always a larger purpose for the things that we want. And your desires are placed in our hearts to help us get to the mountaintop, to help us become the best version of ourselves. Who places these desires in our hearts is up for debate. Some people believe that it's God. Some people believe that it's your future self. Some people believe it's based on your self-concept. and you can only want things that are like at your level of consciousness and at your level of like self-concept. That's what Neville Goddard thought. And so on and so forth. Like many people have different beliefs many people have different opinions as to like where these desires are coming from. And I don't have a clear answer to that question, but I do know that pursuing a true desire is the most unselfish thing that you could possibly do, and giving up on that desire would be catastrophic. And so I think that you should persist until the very end. If this video is interesting to you, then I think you would really love my book that I just published. It's called Mastering the Middle. And in this book, I talk about something that I call the middle, which is the space between where you are and where you want to be. The space between the time that you set a goal and the time that you achieve that goal, or the time that that goal gets manifested. This gap between point A and point B, I refer to as the middle. And the middle is not a passive time. It's not a time to sit around and wait for ideas to strike like lightning and while you're sitting on the couch eating potato chips. That's not what the middle is about. The middle is a very active time of intense transformation. And there's a lot of things that are happening internally that you need to be aware of. And there are a lot of things that you need to do. I talk about work being done in the seen and work being done in the unseen, and how you have to pursue both of those avenues in order to get your desires. And I think that this book is a guide for people that feel lost, or that feel like they need a little bit of guidance and on how to get from the time that they set their desire to the time that they achieve their goal. And I think this book is a great guide for people. If that sounds interesting to you, I will leave the link in the description box below. And thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.